Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportBikeTrackGear.com, and today we're going to run you through some of our Motoamerica SuperSport preparation for the upcoming Mid Ohio round. Okay, like a lot of our other videos we've been doing lately, this one's brought to you in partnership with our good friends at Precision Track Days and Two Wheel Dyno Works. They've been sponsoring Max for the last 3 race seasons. We really appreciate the partnership. And those are also 2 great businesses in our industry. If you look for a place to ride your bike on the track, Precision Track Days is the right place. And if you want to get your ECU flash to unlock the performance on your bike, they actually just did my brother's MT-09 and he is raving about it. Nobody better than Nate and the crew at Two Wheel Dyno Works. So we have here one of Max Van's Motoamerica SuperSport machines. We were just at our home track, Grattan Raceway, racing with our friends from Weira last weekend. Grattan's our home track. It's the first track that Max has ever done a track day at. He was 11, almost 12. He went out on an R3 with stock bodywork and a kick-ass M4 pipe, and I was there literally shitting diamonds, watching him go around the racetrack, very nervous. We fast forward to last weekend, and now Max is out there breaking the SuperSport track record on this motorcycle here that Dad takes care of. He did an 18.4 at Grattan on his Motoamerica restricted 750 SuperSport bike. That's wicked fast, did a whole bunch of 18s. We had a great weekend. We were there with so many friends, run personal best. It was great. We'll tell that story in another video. But the kid's got a little momentum going right now. We want to make sure that his bike is ready to rip when we go to Mid Ohio. So the first indication that I'm taking this shit serious is when I put my glasses on, because full disclosure, I'm old and I just can't see shit anymore, man. So what are we doing right now? We are going to take our forks and our rear shock off the motorcycle and send them out to be serviced. For our Grattan outing, we mix things up a little bit. We've got our Öhlins front forks, which Max loves the front end of the machine. But when we were at Grattan last weekend, on Friday, we had a practice day with STT, kids out there riding, and he's doing well. He gets it into the 19s, you know, and we were just hoping for more than that. We had Jimmy there reviewing the data. We didn't love what we were looking at. We just couldn't get Max that feeling, right? And it's all about the confidence for the rider. You know, you're going to go out there and push to that level. You've got to believe that, you know, when you get on the stick, you get on the brakes, you turn the bike, that the bike's going to be there to support the activity. So let's just say I'm no great tuner, but I'm always down to try something. We're at the end of the day, one session left on Friday, and Max has a rear tire, Dunlop R4, that he had already done a few 19s on the session before. And, you know, when you start riding that pace, you only get so much out of the tire, okay? The tire was pretty torn. And I'm like, you know what, dude? I feel like we need to try something here. How about I grab that K-Tech through rod shock out of the cabinet, throw it on, and let's give it a rip and see what you think. And he agreed, so we went ahead and did that, and then we ended up using the K-Tech shock for all the races on Saturday and Sunday. So now, you know, we've got ourselves a little bit of a hybrid setup here on our motorcycle. You know, most often what you're going to see is when it comes to suspension, it's going to be the same brand on the front and the rear. That's very typical. That's what we would normally do. But for whatever reason, at that track, that particular weekend, he just got a better feeling by mixing them up. So we're gonna send the forks to our buddy Barry Wessel at CTR, right? He works with Olin's. He's gonna get those turned around for us and send them back. And then we're gonna send the rear shock to our buddy Kendall Williams at Triple T Suspension. And Kendall is going to go ahead and get that shock turned around for us. We wanna start off our Mid Ohio weekend brand new, baby. We wanna be fresh, we wanna be ready to rip. You know, with suspension, with forks, and a shock, my typical strategy is I wanna go about 3 weekends, okay? Full disclosure, we're probably 1 weekend over on the forks, and I think the shock itself is probably at about double that right now. It's not the end of the world. It's also, you know, not ideal, but clearly it worked pretty good. I don't use power tools a lot when I'm wrenching on the bike. You'll see me sometimes use them for disassembly, you know, because I feel like, you know, that's a spot there where you can get away with it. It's not going to do any damage, but for reassembly, you're definitely not going to see me use any power tools. This is a little panel that's built to just kind of make sure the air is flowing over the radiator. This is just some plastic that I got from, I hate to say it, I bought this from Jeff Bezos. Kind of cut it out. It's a little bit flexible. So fork removal, as Clark tries to chase me around the bike. Pretty basic here. I'm just getting started. A little disassembly so we have access to them. Obviously you have to pull your front calipers. Front wheel has to come off the bike. Loosen up your clip-ons. Triple trees. This bike's been really good to us. This was it's a Team Hammer built machine that I've had. It's been our bike for 3 years, and you know, along the way you kind of do things to, you know, take what you got from the person that built it, assuming that's someone else, and then, you know, you just find a way to kind of make it your own, right? So there's some things that if you look at my bike and you compare it, you know, straight on to one of the current Team Hammer ones, you know, you see some little variances, nothing super crazy. They do a great job over there. Great starting point. I feel like, you know, for Max has ridden, I think, quite well. You know, from our first year in SuperSport, like 24, when we went from a Junior Cup bike to a SuperSport bike, he did quite well. These are our quick release fender brackets. Like, if you notice when I pulled the fender off, all I'm doing is turning a deuce fastener. So getting the bike from Team Hammer, I think that really set us up for success. You get some baseline, you know, when you buy a bike from Chris, you're gonna get some baseline settings, so you get a good starting point where you can, you know, tailor that to your rider, and that's what we've done. Like, even being on the team last year with Tyler, Scott, and Max, And the crew chief for Max was obviously Jimmy, right? And for Tyler, it was Shiloh. And in the end, those two would be used in some pretty different settings, right? They're different riders, both excellent riders, obviously. But, you know, two different guys, two different settings. At the end of the day, the whole goal is just getting you want to get a setting to where the motorcycle allows the rider to do the things that they want to do while making them feel comfortable, right? If the rider is not comfortable, the rider does not go fast. It's that simple. So you'll see during a weekend, like even at the Weir weekend, when we're there, I'm doing all the same things to Max's bike in terms of maintenance that I would do on a Motoamerica weekend. I pulled the clutch out, measured stack height, set airpin gap every day, just like I would at Motoamerica. The calipers come off every day. They get scrubbed, rotating the pads to keep the pads wearing even every day. Going through the bike using the laser chassis tool to ensure that the rear axle is perfectly aligned every day. And you know, you could probably get away with leaving some of that, maybe doing it once a weekend, maybe. But at the end of the day, I know with my guy, it makes him way more comfortable and confident when he sees the old man over there sweating his ass off, wrenching away on the calipers, and he's got the clutch out, measuring it with the dial indicator. So, you know, at the end of the day, this is a team sport. You know, even though that all the on-track stuff, it's just the rider. This is a team sport. So I do all that stuff every day. Number one, because I like doing it, right? And you know, you want to be really prepared as you possibly can, because that sets you up to be successful. But also, you know, I know with my rider that if I don't do that, he is not gonna have that same level of confidence that he would if I did. We were reviewing some of the data today. Jimmy was down here doing just the data dump, because obviously that was really fast laps that Max got, and there's just, even though that weekend is over, there's things to be learned. So Jimbo was going through it, and at Grattan, the corner coming onto the straightaway, 10B, it's a quick transition, 10A to 10B. You're driving up a hill, you're in 10A, then you're in 10B, and you're coming on the straightaway. Max comes on he's carried more speed on that straightaway than I think I've ever seen anyone in the 20 plus years I've been going there. And so I'm like, hey dude, what was his throttle percentage at the apex in 10B? Max's throttle percentage was 84%. And that's like, man, now I know why I stopped watching it. Like I was watching him come on, and one time he got he went over this tar snake, this little sealer patch, and he got a pretty gnarly fucking tank slapper that I think he carried most of the way down the straightaway, and he just stayed on the stick, man. It was impressive. So I stopped watching him come on the straightaway. I just had the race monitor open on my phone, and I had my glasses on, and I was looking at the flag stand, and I had my back to him, and I could tell him when it was him, because I could hear the Suzuki just screaming. And then I'd look down at the lap time, and once I found out that he was at 84% throttle when he was coming on the straightaway, now I know why I decided to stop looking at it. But the kid did a great job, obviously. We didn't have any issues. Okay, so you see as I progress through this, right, and this is pretty like normal operation. This is stuff that we could have done this at the racetrack. And like, let's say last year when we rode on Team Hammer, I would have done this at the racetrack. You know, this would probably be like a Thursday morning thing. You know, we get the bikes off the truck and I would then pull his forks and send them off to take them down to Barry at Olin's. You know, but now, you know, we're back in, you know, we're running out of our trailer this year. And so I reached out to my guy, Barry, and I'm like, what do you want me to do, dude? Do you want me to bring him down Thursday? Or do you want me to send him to you? And he's like, just send him to me. And then that way, you know, he's like, as soon as I get him, I'm just going to turn him around for you because Barry's awesome, right? And that way, you know, Barry's still free to do, you know, his team support stuff. So that's probably smart business. And that keeps us from having to wait a super long time too, which, you know, you want to be as prepared as possible. So I like the idea of shipping them out. Now we're back here on the shock. Gonna go ahead and disconnect our rear potentiometer. Got our Woodcraft peg stands. Eric did a phenomenal job on these things. One of my favorite tools. So nice, lightweight. Top nut comes off just like that. We're using a different link than the OEM. So there's no nut on the lower portion. On the lower bolt is just a through bolt. And the upper one, when you use an impact for disassembly, you don't need a backup wrench. And there she is. One of these is heading to Triple T, and the other CTR. Gonna get this all redone, and we'll probably, people seem to enjoy the stuff that we did as we were getting ready for our Road America adventure. So maybe we'll try and shoot a couple more videos. I gotta change the air conditioner on our trailer. That thing's on its last leg. I got a new one sitting in the warehouse right now. That thing was popping the circuit breaker. At Karatin, we got lucky, it worked the majority of the time, but she's definitely on her way out. And then, you know, we gotta go through the clutch, we gotta change the oil. I'm gonna clean it up, probably gonna pull some things apart and re-grease. The clip-on cuffs on this, I've had it on and off so many times. Got some new Vortex clip-on cuffs. You know, most people, you know, you're not gonna be retorquing your clip-on cuffs like, I don't know, 50 times or whatever the number is, right? And at the end of the day, that shit, there's wear on the cuff, there's wear on the fasteners. It just is what it is. That's a lot of cycles with that, a lot more than normal use would ever get you. So as preventative maintenance on this, one of the things I plan on doing, I'm just gonna change the cuffs out. I gotta change the coolant because I have, actually I have water in there. I already did that before Road America. So, you know, a couple little maintenance things, and we'll do some videos and we'll let you guys keep up with that. Hopefully you learned a little bit here, and maybe when we put the suspension back on too, I'll kind of run you through how I do that. Until next time, if you have any questions, leave those in the comments section of this video. We love chatting with you guys, love the support. Thanks for watching.